My name is Robin, they, them. I came here from Ashfield, but I do visit the city a lot. Well, I do experience stigma from a few different angles, like growing up in and around Nottingham. Obviously it's quite a white city and I'm Chinese, and also I'm autistic, and then when I got a bit older I realised I was trans, and these are all things that sort of affect how I go about my business when I visit the city. Not actively a lot of the time, especially these days, thankfully, but it is something that's always in the back of your mind if it affects you. I realised something was up with my relation to my body around when I was a teenager, when I started getting these not only actual medical problems but also just dysphoria and stuff, but I hadn't got the language to really describe it until I was at uni and sort of more exposed to that sort of thing. I would say when I pushed for my diagnosis, I was fairly sure that I would end up turning out to be trans, but I had chosen to focus on the one thing before pushing for the other healthcare thing, because I knew both were difficult in the current system. I did come out fairly late in life, so I'm not very far along physically in my transition, but for example, when I go, I used to enjoy swimming a lot as a kid, and when I got a bit older, the body dysphoria, the sort of distance between what I felt like people want my body to be and what it was and what I wanted it to be, the gap, the self-stigma kind of got to me, and I just couldn't go to a swimming pool at all anymore. And it's just recently I found a way to manage to go again, but it involves having a family member with me just to help me around the changing rooms and things. So I usually go to Victoria Leisure Centre for that, and it's really helpful because the family member helps me. It's my younger brother, so it's the fact that the changing village is not gender segregated. That's very convenient for both of us. Nottingham is actually the only place where I've at least, I mean, I haven't lived in that many places, and I've certainly not lived in like London or wherever, but it is the only city I've lived where there's been that coherent a queer scene and a trans support scene. And earlier in this year I was very low in my mental health because of the stuff happening in the world, and there is that stigma, like a lot of people throwing trans people under the bus for whatever reason. And that was beginning to get to me. Then I looked for stuff in my area and found Notts Tranship, and that was every time I've gone to a thing that they've been affiliated with or run themselves, they've been absolutely lovely, and it really makes me feel more real, you know, like it feels like I'm not just pretending at being trans, even though I don't look it very much yet. And yeah, I think they're very important. It's very nice that Nottingham has it. It's very grounding, I suppose is the word. It's very grounding to go in a room full of people who are going through the same thing you are in day-to-day most of the time.